Hey guys, welcome back to Magic TV. My name's Craig. It is 9 o'clock, which means it's time for a mat test. And on today's mat test, we are going to be looking at Brainchild by Kyle Purnell, which got brought out recently by Penguin Magic. And Kyle has been hitting it out the ballpark and then some. In the last couple of months, he's brought out Big Picture with Vanishing Ink, Rainbow Road with Penguin Magic. He was the Creator of the Year last year on Penguin Magic. This guy is hitting it out the park. When Kyle brings out a trick, people sit up and listen, which is why I was super excited when I saw Brainchild for the first time. Now, the first time I saw Brainchild was at Magic Live. It got announced, it got officially released at Magic Live, and I was standing next to Nick LaCoppa for 3 days, almost 4 days, basically watching him perform this over and over again, blowing away magicians. They were all buying it. I had no idea how it worked until Nick showed me. They sold out on like day 2. They had to order more stock in for Magic Live. Then they sold out of that stock. Like, Brainchild is a magician fooler, but as well as a magician fooler, it's also a really entertaining piece of magic for lay people as well. We will be reviewing it on the Craig and Ryan review show soon. But I wanted to do a mat test on it because I wanted to see if it passed the mat test. What is the mat test? The mat test, very simply, is I have somebody who works in my office called Matt Cluley. Matt is one of the best salespeople you'll meet. He knows about magic because his job is to sell magic packages to people. He understands the impact that magic has at an event. He's seen so much magic that he understands principles. He understands plots, not completely. He's not a magician at all. A lot of stuff goes over his head, but he has a basic understanding, a bit like a wife would be, you know. So some people have the white test. I have the mat test. He's very analytical. If he thinks he knows how something's done, he's going to say it. But likewise, he genuinely loves magic. And true story, when I first met Matt, it was when I was working at a wedding fair, and he came up and saw me and booked me to do magic at his wedding. So, you know, that's how I first met Matt. Anyway, with that being said, it's time for this week's mat test, and I'm going to perform on Matt Kyle Purnell's Brainchild. I think it's awesome. Let's see if it passes the mat test. Matt.
Hello.
This is not a card trick.
Okay.
I repeat, this is not a card trick. Because if this was a card trick, I would be having you pick a card. I'm not going to have you pick a card. Instead, I'm going to have you look at a card. And you're not going to tell me what the card is at all at any point.
Okay.
Okay? So, here's what we're going to do.
Interesting.
I'm just going to show you the cards, and don't tell me when you've got one, but I want you to look at one of these cards and get it in your head. Just look at one, not the top one, but look at one of these cards and get it in your head. Look at one of these cards, look at one of these cards, look at one of these cards, look at one of these cards. The question, do you have one?
Yeah.
Fantastic. And that was fair, right? There's no way I could possibly know what card you've got because you literally just looked at one. You didn't even tell me what it is. Is that fair?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. We'll give the cards a mix up. Concentrate on the card.
Oh, I don't like it when you do this.
Concentrate on the card. You just looked at it. You didn't tell anyone. Concentrate on the card. It's a black card.
What can I tell you?
Yeah, tell me. No. Do you know why it's not a black card?
Right.
Because that was a guess. Because no. The thing is, I mean, come on. I couldn't possibly know. It's not a card trick, Matt. Not a card trick. I couldn't know. Because you only thought of it, you didn't take it out. As a magician, I have to get you to take it out so I can keep track of where it is. If you're just looking at it, the only option I have is to guess the bloody thing. That's the only way that I can deal with this.
You had a 50-50
shot. I failed miserably. What else can I say? But I do this so it's a red card.
It's now 1 of 26.
It's now
so
one
you
of
know
20.
in it down.
It's 126. Okay, we're going to try and do something here. I'm going to give the cards a bit of a mix-up, give them a bit of a shuffle. I say shuffle, give them a bit of a mix-up, just so the cards lost in the That fair?
Yeah.
So, we can do something completely random. Okay, we'll do this based on numerology. Okay, that's how we'll do it. We'll do it based on numerology. I don't know what... I genuinely don't know your date of birth. What month is your birth month?
Well, that's disappointing, isn't it?
I'm sorry.
How long have I worked there?
If Sarah told me, I'd know. She organised it.
April.
Same as mine, cool. So that's the 4th month, right?
It is.
That's 1, 2, 3, 4.
Yeah.
And how many letters in your name in total, including middle names? How many total letters?
Oh, really?
Yeah, including not Matthew, the whole thing. How many letters?
Loads, man.
Don't add them up in your head. Or use your fingers. Good job you're in sales and not accounting.
I know.
How many?
20.
20. Okay, so let's go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. So, we're doing well. Have you seen your card yet, by the way? Because obviously I have no idea what it was. Have you seen your card yet? Has it gone past? No?
No.
Okay. One last question.
Yeah.
Because I could have stalked you on Facebook and got that information. So we're going to make it even more random.
You couldn't have.
Get one last question. And we'll make it something, a number that you didn't know up until a few minutes ago. The card that you're thinking of, what's the value of the card?
8.
8? Okay. So I'll deal 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. This is the card in the 8th position that I've got right here. This one right here. Was your card a red card, did you say?
Yeah.
Let me just show the camera and show... this is the card that you ended up on. Bearing in mind, think about it, you only thought of a card. You never told anybody. You never wrote it down. Also, you made all the choices when it came to numbers. It was based on your date of birth. It was based on your name. It was based on the card that you merely thought of. And I've arrived at one card and one card only. What was the name of your card?
There's no way, dude.
Sorry, Matt.
8 of hearts.
What do you mean this one? Yeah, that one.
No.
Yeah. I mean, think about it. If
You don't even know my
if
middle
your name
names.
was Sebastian von Prinzelbocken, it would have been a completely different situation. I
You
mean, I would
don't
have been...
even know my middle names.
No, I don't. I haven't got a clue. I don't even know. I don't even know
I've
your
got 2 of
surname
them.
half of the time, to be honest. Did you? Yeah, you got 2. I didn't even know that either.
What are your middle names, Matt?
David Samuel.
And it ended up at that number. Think about Matt. How crazy is that? But you know what? If you thought of the 4 of spades, it wouldn't have worked. If you thought of the ace of clubs, it wouldn't have worked. 5 of diamonds wouldn't have worked. Ace of diamonds wouldn't work. 8 of diamonds wouldn't have. None of these cards would have worked, Matt. Do you know why? You're not going to believe it. Turn the card over, Matt. Have a look at that card. Turn it over. That card that you thought of, turn it... Oh, there you go. Turn it over and show everybody. Turn it over. It's the only red card in the pack, Matt. You can examine everything here, dude. You can examine everything. There is literally just one red card, and one red card only.
What the fuck?
That's your card.
No. But you can't. You don't even know my middle name, so you've got no idea.
I didn't even know what card you picked. I had you think of a card, Matt.
Where the fuck did that red one come from?
It's the one he thought of. It's the only red card in the pack.
That's crazy.
That's fucking voodoo.
That's crazy.
Any ideas?
No.
I know
I
you
just
like...
looked at it.
Yeah, you just looked at it.
I just looked at the card.
You didn't tell me, or you didn't tell him.
I just looked at it.
It's like,
And like my birth month, and like he doesn't even know my middle names. I didn't know how many letters were in my middle names. I had to count them on my hand.
in his defense, he still don't know my first name, but yeah.
Shut up, James. You're proper freaked out about them.
Yeah. No, I don't get it. I don't get it. And it was there's only one.
Any ideas?
No. Not at all. It's really weird.
Fucking hell.
Yeah. I didn't even know how many letters were in my middle names. I didn't. I had to count them on my hand. I've got a feeling I got it wrong as well.
Now, in essence, this is a little bit like, you know, I've done stuff on you before where we call it any card at any number.
Yeah.
This is kind of a bit like any card at any number, isn't it? Because we generated a number, but it wasn't a number you named. It was random based on the letters in your name and your month of birth and everything. Do you think that makes it stronger? Does that make it stronger, or does that make it weaker?
Yeah.
Because some people say it makes it weaker because they haven't named the number, but it's information that's private to you.
But you didn't. Yeah, I mean, if you name the number from the, if you go, oh, that's my card. Like, there's no way that you could have known that I looked at that card, because there was a bunch of them that you flicked through. So that was the card that I just looked at it. I don't have any ticks that I'm aware of that you could have picked up on, like Darren Brown style or whatever. Like, I just looked at the thing, and I didn't focus on it. It just, as you flicked through, I just clocked one of them, and it happened to be that one. I'm pretty sure that I got the amount of letters in my name wrong. So that's not even a factor, because if you did... I know you think. I don't know.
No idea.
No. Like, I mean, you could have known my month of birth. It was like 2 months ago, and we had the same birth month. So, but my full name isn't anywhere.
You're forgetting it's the only card that's red as well.
It's not even on my contract.
Even if, think about it, even if I didn't do it as the number thing, and I just said, think of a card, and I spread through, and there was one card that was red, and it was your card. Take aside the fact that it's a number that I couldn't have known. It's the only red card in the pack, and these cards are completely examinable. There's nothing special about them at all.
All unique.
It's great. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. That's impressive. I genuinely don't know. I've got nothing.
Nothing.
I'm just trying to think of things to say at this point, because I've got no idea. I just looked at the thing, and then all of a sudden it's the only card with a red back, and you've just counted down to it from information, numbers that you didn't even know. But you didn't know how many letters were in my name.
Nope.
You didn't even know my middle names.
Nope.
And they're not like on my contract or anything.
No.
I never put both middle names.
You really think I'd go to the trouble of finding a contract to look at it? Do you reckon do you really think Sarah would give me access to your contract? Hey Sarah, I want to do a trick on Matt. I need to know some information off his contract. She'd tell me to fuck off.
She'd tell you to get it yourself, and then you'd have no idea where it is.
Yep.
But you don't call yourself Matthew though, do you?
No.
You just call yourself Matt.
Everybody knows my name's Matthew, but he doesn't know my middle names.
Bonkers.
And I'm pretty sure even right now he couldn't spell my surname.
Clewley.
Ah! He's there.
Go.
Yeah, I don't know. That's good.
Yeah?
Who's done that?
Kyle Purnell.
Kyle Purnell.
Who's on the NETRIX.
Well done, sir.
There you go.
So there you go. That is the Matt test. Now, there's a few interesting points that I think we can bring out of that. First of all, he had absolutely no clue. No clue at all. He didn't have a clue. And it just shows, you know, like sometimes we think as magicians, does it matter if I have a card picked? Does it matter if I riffle down the deck? He picked up on the fact that he only just looked at a card. It feels so fair. And I think that has a positive impact on the effect on lay people's minds. Sometimes I think that we don't give lay people the credit that they deserve. And because of that, we think we can get away with anything. And a lot of the time you can. But that shows you that sometimes, you know, if you can incorporate something that's more fooling into it, it will work as well. The other thing is, Matt seemed to get really hung up on the number, and he could have had a free choice of number, and I didn't know his name. It was almost like that the fact that the card was red didn't matter. Now, for me, that's one of the strongest parts of this trick. One of the strongest parts of the trick is that they think of a card, yes, it's at the number, but not only is it at the number, it's the only one with a red back. That, for me, is like a super strong part of this routine. And for Matt, it was all about the number. Yeah, I think he found the red card impressive, but it wasn't so much about the red card. It was more about the number. which is very interesting. I'm not saying you don't do it with the red card, but it's very interesting that that was the bit that he really kind of focused on. Even though I tried to bring him back to the red card, he still kept talking about the number. The other thing that I found interesting, and I've heard people say this online, oh, it's not as good because it's not a free choice of number. Well, it kind of is a free choice of number because they can have any number, but some magicians are saying it's not as good because you're getting that information in bits and bobs as opposed to saying name a number. To Matt, who's actually seen a lot of ACANs before, that was more impressive. The fact that I was using his name was more impressive than having just name a number. So again, I found that very, very interesting. The other thing I found interesting was the fact that he didn't even want to examine the deck. At no point did he pick up the deck. I said to him 3 times, the deck's examinable. He never picked it up. The trick is so clean that I don't think he thought that examining the deck would help. Now, the other negative point that I've seen online, and I've seen some people talk about in discussion forums, is there is a move that has to be done. You can either do it in a kind of a self-working way, or you can do it in a sleight of hand way, but there's a move that needs to be done at some point in the routine. And a lot of people are moaning that this move needs to be done. Well, I did that move right there in front of Matt, and he didn't notice anything. And the reason he didn't notice anything is because the misdirection that is built in with the clever routining by Kyle Purnell. His attention is focused somewhere else. He didn't even, and trust me, if he'd have seen that move, he would have picked up on it. I know he would have picked up on it, but he didn't see anything, so it wasn't anything to worry about. I think I could have literally just palmed an elephant at that point. The misdirection is so strong. And again, one thing that we can learn from that as magicians is sometimes we overanalyze stuff. Sometimes we worry about, oh, I've got to do a move here. As long as we understand the offbeat and the onbeat, as long as we understand the basics of misdirection and direction of an audience's attention, then moves can be invisible. I've talked about this before, but I remember James Brown at a magic convention having someone come up to him and saying, show me your pass. And he waited till the guy looked away, and then he did the pass, and the guy said, well, it's not fair, I wasn't looking. And James Brown said, exactly, that's my point. That's when you should do the pass. The same is applicable to this routine. The move is done when nobody's looking. Nobody's looking, because, and it's not like you have to figure out the routining or the pacing yourself. You just watch the tutorial and Kyle goes through it, and you get reactions like Matt did, who has seen a million card tricks and yet still thought that this was incredible. So there you go. It's another Matt test. Kyle Purnell, Penguin Penguin Magic, Kyle Purnell, Brainchild. It's a winner. Matt absolutely loved it, and I think it's really good as well. So there you go, guys. That's another Matt test in the bag. Do me a favor, let me know what you think in the comments down below. You want to see more videos like this, like the video, subscribe to the channel. Please, please, please subscribe to the channel. We've got big goals to hit here on Magic TV, and we'd really like your help to hit them. Also, anybody who asks on a very regular basis, how do I support the channel? Please just subscribe to NETRIX for a month and try it out and see what the fuss is about. I'm very proud of it. I think it's an amazing platform. It grows by the week. It's turning into what I think is one of the most important platforms, at least that I've ever done. So check it out. Let me know what you think. Outside of that, I'm going to be back again soon with another video. Thanks very much for watching. My name's Craig from Magic TV.